My name is Chris Neurath. I'm with a group called the American Environmental Health Studies Project. And I'm going to talk about probably the study that may have brought us here, revisiting fluoridation, which is from the University of Calgary, the studies by Lindsay McLaren. These studies are flawed. I'm going to start with the fluoridation one. They do not show that stopping fluoridation caused an increase in tooth decay. And I'm going to talk about the science, and I'll try to do it in a way that is clear. Everybody knows that there was lots of media attention and I would say misrepresentation of what the study actually showed. Together with 6 other authors, we published an article critiquing it, and I'm going to talk about what we found. First of all, it omitted critical data. Second, it was not blinded. And third, it did not control for confounding. It omitted data because there was a third survey conducted 2009-2010. And the best way to explain why this is important is to show what the McLaren study found in terms of tooth decay in the different survey periods. They used 2 surveys, I think they're about 8 or 9 years apart. The vertical dotted line is when fluoridation ceased. There was no information between the 2 surveys that they used, and that shows the data point that they did not use. So I'm going to go back and forth, and you can see. Whoops. With this added data point, which was a survey in Calgary much closer to the time, the trend before fluoridation ever ceased was increasing cavities. Edmonton also was increasing. Edmonton has been fluoridated the entire time. Something other than fluoridation has been causing an increase in decay. We don't know what it is. The McLaren studies did not control for anything, and were not able to explain what was causing this increase. The actual increase the rate of increase after the fluoridation was ceased is the same as before. In other words, it hasn't changed anything. There's been claims that the McLaren study showed an increase of 146%. Well, that's using the wrong numbers. The actual increase that the study may have shown, which was probably not due to fluoridation cessation, was 7%. And this graph, I won't get into the details, but it's only what happened after cessation that counts as being attributable, whereas the 146, they're counting what went on between 9 years apart, long before cessation. It wasn't blinded. The dentists who examined the children in Edmonton and in Calgary, they knew that which these kids were fluoridated or not. A study that is not blinded is virtually invalid. There have been meta-studies to see how much lack of blinding can bias a study, and they found in health intervention types of studies 20 to 30% if you do not blind the examiners. So the 7% true increase in cavities could totally be explained by the fact that it was not a blinded study. It did not control for any confounding factors. There is confusing claims that it did. It only measured confounding factors in the 2013-14 survey. The previous surveys, there weren't any measurements of anything, socioeconomic status, things like that. So for the overall study, there's no way to control for them if you don't have it for all the dates. Well, that's a summary. So all her work is seriously flawed. And in particular, the claim that tooth decay increased after fluoridation ceased because of the cessation is simply not supported by her own data.